Nobody wakes up stressed out of nowhere. It builds, one argument at a time, a missed deadline, an unpaid bill, a painful relationship. Slowly, you become more on edge, constantly drained, easily triggered, and then one day you are snapping at people you love over something tiny, but you don't even recognize why. Before you add guilt to your list of stresses, let's look at exactly how you got here, and more importantly, how to find your way back out. So how exactly do we get trapped in this cycle of mental stress? Usually, it doesn't come from the things that happen to you. It comes from what your mind keeps doing with them afterwards. Think about it. The argument itself lasted 5 minutes, but you replayed it for the rest of the day. The mistake took a second to make, but you have gone over it 100 times since then. And then, there are the loops that never got a proper ending. The conversation you never finished. The apology you never gave or never received. The decision you keep cycling but never actually make. Nothing closes. It just sits there, still unresolved. And here's the trap. None of this needs your conscious attention to keep running. You don't have to be actively sitting there worrying for this to be happening. It can run quietly underneath your whole day while you are at work, while you are with people you love, while you are trying to sleep. And this whole thing is genuinely mentally exhausting. In 2006, 3 researchers, Jos Broshaw, William Guerin and Julian Sayer published something known as the perseverative cognition hypothesis. Their research revealed that stress isn't just mentally draining, but physically exhausting as well. A stressful event can cause real damage to your body, and depending on how often it is replayed in your mind, it can leave various lasting effects on your system. When you keep mentally returning to something stressful, worrying about it, going over it, cycling it, your body's stress response doesn't get the memo that it's over. It just stays switched on. And here's the details that stayed with me. A later study by the same researchers found that people who had more stressful days showed a faster heart rate and lower heart rate variability overnight, while they were objectively asleep, not thinking about anything, not consciously worrying, and their body was still running the stress response anyway. So you see, it's not just in your head, it's also costing you physically, whether you are aware of it in the moment or not. So if the looping itself is what's keeping your body switched on, the way out is learning to actually contain it. Here's a technique with real evidence behind it. It's called worry postponement, developed by researcher Thomas Borkovich back in the 1980s, and it's remarkably simple. You pick a specific time each day, say 7 in the evening, and that becomes your designated time to think about whatever's bothering you. Not avoid it. Genuinely sit with it for 15 minutes right then. And here's the important part. The moment a worry shows up during the rest of your day, you don't suppress it, and you don't fall into it either. You just say to yourself calmly, I'll think about that at 7, and you let it go for now. At first, this feels strange, but research on this technique has shown something interesting. By the time 7 o'clock actually arrives, a lot of what felt urgent during the day has quietly lost its charge. The mind oddly stops needing to circle something once it knows it has a guaranteed time to return to it. That handles the rumination. But what about the loops that never got a proper ending in the first place, such as unresolved conversations and decisions you keep circling? There's one more thing worth doing. Pick the smallest possible next action and take it. Not the whole resolution, just one small concrete step that moves it from endlessly open to actually in motion. Send the message, make the call, write the one sentence that starts the decision. Because a loop doesn't need to be finished to stop draining you. It just needs to be moving. Here's something that helps regardless of which of these two is actually driving your stress today. The rumination or the open loops. Both keep the same physical system switched on. So let's do something that works on that system directly right now together. Breathe in slowly through your nose for 4 seconds. And out through your mouth for 6. One more time, in for 4 and out for 6. That longer exhale directly activates the branch of your nervous system responsible for calming things back down. The same one that stays suppressed while your mind is stuck replaying something. It doesn't matter which of the two is behind it today. This works either way because they are both ultimately keeping the same nervous system switched on. So how did you get here? Not from one bad day. From your mind quietly replaying difficult moments long after they ended and holding on to open loops that never actually closed. And your body's been paying for it the whole time, often without you ever noticing. But none of that means you are stuck with it. Once you can actually see the looping for what it is, you can give it somewhere to go, a specific time, a small next step instead of letting it run endlessly in the background. That's the whole shift. Not eliminating stress, just finally giving your mind somewhere to put it down. If any of this landed, tell me in the comments. I'd love to know whether it's the rumination or the open loops that hit closer to home for you. And if all this stress has quietly worn down the dreamer in you and you have stopped looking forward to anything at all, I made a whole video on exactly that. I will link it below. I'll see you in the next one. Take a breath and let something go today.